everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here doing the astrology insight for the week of August 31st. Beginning on August 31st, we have the first quarter square moon at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. And then on Monday, we have Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. And then on Tuesday, we have Mercury's ingress into Virgo. On Wednesday, we have Mercury's square Uranus in Gemini. And then on Thursday, we have Mars square Jupiter in Cancer. So this week is a very busy week. There's a lot of things shifting and a lot of energies moving. On Sunday, August 31st, we have the first quarter moon at 8 degrees Sagittarius going exact at 1:24 a.m. Central Time. So we'll be feeling that energy on Saturday as well. We have the sun in Virgo and the moon is in Sagittarius squaring the sun in Virgo. While the sun is in Virgo, we are trying to be focused and optimize our energy. So when the moon in Sagittarius is square the sun in Virgo, the moon in Sagittarius is pulling our attention, pulling our energy towards all these different ideas, all these different possibilities, perhaps being more consumed with community and organizations and less focused on really getting to the details. So today we really want to know that it can be an overwhelming day, and it would be a good idea to just slim down where your attention is going and try to shut out all the excess, because we want to be able to focus on what we're creating, what we're building, what we're organizing right in front of us, and we don't want our attention to get too scattered today. So if you feel like your attention's being too scattered today, try to just release, shift away, and really focus inward and focus on what you are creating. On Monday, September 1st, we have Saturn's retrograde back into Pisces. He will remain in Pisces until February 13th, 2026. If 2 years of Saturn in Pisces wasn't enough, we have a little bit of a cleanup to do, and that's why Saturn is going back into Pisces, so we can really acknowledge perhaps boundaries that weren't honored, perhaps where we limit ourselves from feeling wholeness and unity. Saturn in Pisces points out any emotional things that need to be addressed, as well as where perhaps we need to have boundaries and what we need to let go of so that we can embrace a new future. Saturn can be a trickier planet to work with because Saturn definitely makes you acknowledge things, so it's not everybody's favorite planet to deal with. But this is where it's really up to us to say, like, why do I need to look at this thing? Why am I afraid to fully connect and have unity and wholeness? What sort of boundaries do I need to put up so that people have more respect of my own energy and I don't let people influence me so much? These are the things that we want to consider while Saturn is back in Pisces until February 13th. And then he will fully move into Aries, and then we'll have Saturn in Aries for the next 2 years. So this is the final cleanup of Saturn in Pisces. So really acknowledge where you limit yourself from feeling wholeness and unity, what you need to let go of so you can have a fresh start and a new future, and really acknowledging perhaps boundaries that need to be set that weren't honored when you set them last time, or you didn't realize that you needed to set them. On Tuesday, September 2nd, we have Mercury's ingress into Virgo at 8:22 a.m. Central Time. Not only is Mercury the domicile lord of Virgo, but Mercury is also exalted in Virgo. So when Mercury is in Virgo, we have the mental strength, ability, and agility to get most tasks done. So if you have anything you need to organize, optimize, clean up, perfect, edit, any of those things, now is the time to do it while Mercury's in Virgo, because it gives us the strength and ability to get things done. On Wednesday, September 3rd, we have Mercury in Virgo square Uranus in Gemini. So today can be an overwhelming day where perhaps you might feel like you just have so many things going on. It's hard to really place where you need to put your focus and your energy. We have Mercury in Virgo, which is really helping us narrow in and get detailed and focused on the thing right in front of us and the small little details and figuring everything out. But then we have Uranus in Gemini, perhaps bringing up things that we weren't expecting to put our attention towards. The nice thing about this, at least, is that Mercury is the Lord of Gemini. So Mercury can really help us out to understand what are all these things that we have our attention on, and how can we organize and see that these things do fit into our puzzle, even though we've narrowed in on one detail. Perhaps we need to consider all the other things that are coming up as perhaps things that might help us in the long run. So as overwhelming as it might be today, try to see why all these new details or ideas or information is coming in so that you can try to put it into your plan. Try not to get so narrow-minded that you just ignore all the other details and all the information that's coming at you, because it perhaps might help you. So as overwhelming as today might be, like I said, try to understand, what is all this information? Why is everybody talking? What are all these details that I'm taking in, and why do I need to know all these things? Try to just put it into your little plan and try to understand. Because if there's one thing that Mercury is very good at doing, pulling in all the details and making them make sense. So like I said, try not to be too narrow focused today, because it is a day where there are going to be a lot of details and new information coming in. Thursday, September 4th, we have Mars in Libra, which is its sign of detriment, square Jupiter in Cancer, which is its sign of exaltation. And not only is Jupiter exalted in Cancer, but Mars is actually in fall in Cancer. So this dynamic between Mars and Jupiter has one where Mars is actually pushed back into the corner in a really bad situation with nowhere to go, because what Jupiter is bringing to Mars is an end, is a settlement, is time to say, let's surrender and let's end this conflict. We might see that sort of situation come up today. And if you yourself find yourself in a conflict where you are backed up into the corner and you can notice that there's nowhere to go, there's nothing more to fight for, perhaps it is time to find some resolution and some agreements, because this is what this energy can give us. It can also bring up things where perhaps that Jupiter energy laying down the line is really so strong that this Mars energy wants to rebel hard against that and push hard against that, but really there's nowhere to go. So this is an interesting dynamic. This is an interesting energy where we might find resolution to a conflict. And like I said, if you yourself find yourself in a conflict or have a conflict, try to see how it is time to find some resolution, to ease things out, and to really smooth things over, because that is one nice thing that can come of this energy. A square is never a good energy. Mars, like I said, is a pretty wily character right now, a little out of control, and what Jupiter has to bring to it, like I said, is something that Mars doesn't want to have. So the pushback could be very hard. So if you're getting pushback from somebody, or if you have any conflicts in your life where there's just a lot of pushback, just take into mind that this is time to resolve those situations and see what we can do with that energy. If you'd like to schedule a personal reading, you can contact me at 11kaivarose33.com.